Welcome back to Bomberman!
Yeah, Bomberman.
Oh god, I suddenly got tired in like the little break we took. I did want to
Dis?
I wanted to at least say last episode I was shitting on The Office a bit, but I love The Office and everyone should go watch it because it's a funny show and it's real funny.
Well, do you think we should finish it? Do you think it's worth watching
stop
all of?
wherever you want to stop. Like this, there's still great moments in the later seasons, but if you get sick of it, give it a break and come back. Whatever. Like it's not a big deal. I haven't completely finished it, so I don't know if the ending is so good you must see. But like, I don't know, first 7 seasons at least are pretty good. That's a lot.
So basically, watch it till Steve.
Of course,
Carell
every
leaves.
fucking season is like 25 episodes long, so good luck.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know what I'm gonna do with my and Hope's lives after The Office is over.
You also rewatched most of Parks and Rec recently, right?
Yeah, on my own, and then I'm gonna watch the rest of it all with Hope after The Office is over.
I see.
So yeah, that's what I'll be doing for a bit.
So I mean, have you guys still been watching anime and stuff?
Yeah, all we're really watching right now is like JoJo and Yuri on Ice, which are both great.
That's all you need, dude.
Yeah.
All you need, everybody needs to scale back their fucking anime consumption.
I watched Soma too, but I watched that on my own.
Because the only reason anyone ever gets jaded about anime is because they're watching too much shit that they don't care about just to be a part of the conversation.
Exactly. Don't watch shit that you don't care about.
No. Well, it'll always be like, someone's watching some fucking garbage show so that they can comment on it because they see that, oh, I'm an anime reviewer, or I'm a part of the community, I want to be able to have conversations on Reddit or whatever. Just don't fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Unless you really care, Even this, I like doing the whole thing where I watch the first episode of every show.
There were a few shows that, we were tempted to watch for meme value and because they suck, right. But it was just like, whatever. We never remember to watch it most of the time, so, why waste time on stuff that sucks?
You don't have to see, even if there's stuff that's pretty good, you don't have to see all of it.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to watch every show.
Exactly.
Fucking pick up, scale back your anime just a little bit and go read a book. Right now, this has been an interesting time for me because I didn't bother with this season at all. I haven't even started a single show. There's one or two that I've looked at, like Scorching Ping Pong Girls, because we watched it for the Sakuga Boru roulette thing that me and Devu did. We hated it. We didn't even finish episode 1.
Jesus.
And that's a show that there's been conversation around it that say some people say it's pretty good. Some people are like, oh, it's got blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care. Even if it is pretty good, I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just not interested at all. Nothing about it made me think, well, I gotta stick it out just in case it turns out to be a 7 instead of a 5,
Yeah.
It's obviously not a 10 out of 10 show. Who cares,
Yeah.
To me, I'm not really missing out on something unless it's it would have been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
If it's a show that I would have thought, and that's what a lot of my dropped list is. A lot of people think that you drop an anime because you hate it. I think you drop an anime because you just don't feel like watching it anymore.
You just don't care enough.
Right. There's plenty of shows that I've dropped that I probably would like more than some of the ones I finished if I watched the whole thing, but not that much.
Yeah.
You can reasonably tell. I mean, any show that you would consider a 10 out of 10 is gonna have a good first episode.
Yeah.
And I mean a really good first episode. No show is gonna be perfect after half of it was boring, or any part of it was boring. You can tell a masterpiece pretty fucking quick, as I've made several videos explaining.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't get this like this sense of like having to chase every single thing that might be okay.
Yeah.
Just settle for the stuff that you think is gonna be great, because I think when you're watching all that okay stuff, you're missing out on something that's great that you're not watching. You know, there's so many older anime that are so good. There's every single person listening to this show right now. You have a favorite thing that already exists that you haven't seen yet.
Yes. Definitely.
No matter what.
In every medium.
No matter what.
In every possible
medium. Yeah.
There's a story that would change your fucking life.
And you haven't read it yet. And it's already out.
Yeah.
You know? It's not a new show. There's probably something, and you're going to have to look for it, you know, but there's, especially if it's something you've heard about that seems like you love it, immediately go watch that. Don't watch the new bullshit. Don't watch Scorching Ping Pong Girls when you could be finally getting around to Revolutionary Girl Utena or something, you know, like, finally get around to that fucking, you know, for me, I should be watching, Anne of Green Gables or something, you know, I've heard that show's fantastic, I haven't seen any of it. Or getting back to watching the countless amazing shows I've got on my on hold list, which
you can watch a movie. You could watch Trick or Treat, man. That was one of those movies I had never heard of it. Hope was like, we could watch Trick or Treat, and I was like, okay, that's a movie, and it's like one of my fucking favorite movies now. Like, I loved it a lot.
So, very high recommendation for Trick or Treat from Victor, from the guy who went on to make Krampus.
Krampus. Definitely, it was better than Krampus. Krampus was great. This movie was better.
I know.
It's real fucking good,
I know
man.
Jay Bauman is a huge fan of Trick or Treat.
I think she had seen it from like their the Red Letter Media shit or whatever.
Yeah,
probably their review or whatever the fuck.
No, he brought it up in the Krampus review.
I see.
Like Jay was like, "Yeah, Trick or Treat. It's one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years," kind of thing. You know.
How do I get out of this room?
I don't know.
That movie was a lot of fun.
Maybe I'll check it out one day.
Because I was like, yeah.
What would you right now say are your favorite movies?
I don't know. I don't fucking care, dude.
I don't care if you care. I didn't ask if you cared. I asked what are they?
How about my favorite movies I saw real recently? Because that's what I remember.
What are your favorite movies?
I watched Aliens, and that was super cool. And I watched Trick or Treat, and that was super cool. And everything else sucks. Everything else is garbage.
Favorite movies.
Captain America: Civil War was a lot of fun.
What did you think of Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange was pretty cool. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't as cool as Civil War was. No. Civil War was pretty cool.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch all of them.
There we go. That's the key.
I'm a comics boy now, so I gotta watch all the comics.
Yeah, comic boy. Movie's fun because it's not the beginning and it's not the end. That's what makes it such a great movie. It's not the most epic battle in the world. It's just it's a little story of some dudes.
Some dudes.
It's a bunch of characters that you already know, and they're facing an internal conflict that's interesting, and it's not resolved by the end. And that's why it's cool.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the story.
That sounds dope. It's funny. I've heard some people like complain that the film feels like the middle episodes of a TV show.
That's why it's
and I'm
so
like,
good.
That's the exact. I was like, that was a
get
shining
that
endorsement
in any other
to me.
Film. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing in film is the middle of the story.
Right.
Like that's why it's so cool.
Well, as a fan,
because every film tries to tell a giant story and wrap it up and contain it, and this is just the middle of a story.
Yeah.
Perfectly done.
I mean,
that's why it's great.
My biggest the reason one of the biggest reasons I'm not that into movies is that movies are almost always short.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's a film, it has to try to tell its story in this certain amount of time, and I prefer long stories. I prefer stories that get me invested in the characters and go in depth about them, you know, and then like show their interactions with a large number of scenarios. And films rarely provide that unless they're fucking long, like the Lord of the Rings or like Speed Racer.
That's the actual unique magic thing about the Marvel movie franchise.
Yeah, that it hasn't tapped into
cool.
enough.
The concept of it is so cool to me, and that's where it's going now, and that's why I'm finally excited about it.
Yeah.
Because the origins didn't matter to me. It's the middle of it, which is super cool. It's like the second Lord of the Rings movie is like super cool. Because it's the middle of the story.
Well, I mean, that's like the worst one. But,
is it?
Well, I don't know. Never mind.
I remember thinking
it depends on who you are. It's okay.
That
I shouldn't say that.
The coolest battle, doesn't it?
The Helm's Deep battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the coolest one. Shit. Fuck.
The last time I saw the second movie was like weirdly I hadn't seen the first one in a while. Like I think I just was trying to show Shade Lord of the Rings because he hadn't seen it, and we watched the first one, and then like months later we were watching the second one, and like I just was not invested at the time.
You have to you have to watch.
It really
right
helps to watch
one.
them in a row, I think. But yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh Jesus, what were we talking about? Movies, some shit.
Oh, I didn't get to do this level last time. That's right. This must be one of the bonus levels. Cause I'm like, I don't remember this shit at all.
So did you beat this game when you played it?
No, I got like the second to last level or something, or second to last like world.
I see.
But I did not beat it. So
to this day, you have not beaten Bomberman.
Yes, I've still never beaten Bomberman Hero.
So if it happens
ever.
on this show, it'll be the first time
It'll
ever.
be a magical moment.
Yes.
Some people wait a lifetime for a moment.
I'm
like
definitely
this.
seeing some shit I've never seen before.
Yes.
At present, in this game, I want to do all 3 Bomberman games.
I don't know, the first one's just, it's not the same.
But it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
What when was the last time you even played it?
When I was playing this, I booted it up and it's just like, it's different.
Well, the first one is only like 4 levels, but they're like mini worlds, right? It's like
4 worlds.
Well, it's like you go to a place and you have to do like a certain number of objectives. Like
no.
Right? Isn't it? It's not like a linear level. It's like you go into like a little like arena-like level and you have to do like a bunch of things.
It's just the structure of the levels are more like an arena, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
But it is kind of like you do have to kind of go around and do different types of things.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool as fuck. I remember it having the best multiplayer out of them.
Yes.
Because what was infuriating about the GameCube game, I don't think this one even has a multiplayer. Hero?
Yeah, it
I think
doesn't.
Hero's completely single player. Bomberman 64 had a multiplayer where you were all like in 3D, and it was like the boss battles from the game. Like you ran around in circles and threw bombs at each other. Whereas Bomberman: The Second Attack and the N64 game or the GameCube games, I don't know if Second Attack had a multiplayer, but the GameCube games had it where it was just the multiplayer was like the original game. It's like a grid-based, run around, drop bombs kind of thing. But like I remember being so
goofy and slow. I remember that.
I just remember being really disappointed that none of them had the same one that Bomberman 64 had, because it was the only one where it was like similar to the actual game, as opposed to just being a callback to the old ones. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
This level doesn't have any music. It's just the sound of rushing water.
Awkward.
I guess because it's a bonus level. All right, quick. Get all 4. Get through the door.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was...
God, I was right at the end there, huh?
That
I
was
blew through and got no points.
Left couldn't get the stress.
Oh, dude, this the last area's got the helicopter battle. Oh, that's insane.
To impress a chick.
Oh
Helicopter
shit! What's
dick.
going on? It's a cutscene. I got the princess.
Yep. I don't remember what we were talking about.
Oh, this one's got boulders.
Why were we talking about movies? What was the point?
Dude, I have no idea.
Led us
You're
to
asking
that?
what my favorite movie was.
But
and
why?
I was like,
Why was I doing that?
I don't know. I was talking about Trick or Treat. Or you were talking about other things you could do besides watch bad anime.
Oh, yeah! I totally forgot that's what we were
and
talking
I was just like,
about.
you can watch Trick or Treat, because it's a movie that I watched recently and I liked it.
Yeah, I talked about this some on my Decompression podcast, which for any of you who have been sorely missing the personal discussions that you get on this show, Digibro's Decompression Chamber, which is on the Procrastinators podcast channel, is my new show where once a week I do like an hour-long podcast of me just like talking about personal life shit.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun and really good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And,
your podcast where all you do is talk about yourself with you is real good. It's so quality.
Well, it's
Yes.
I wasn't sure what it was going to be. The first episode was all right. The second one was all right. But then the third one was like, this is now interesting. And I could talk about interesting stuff out here. Whoa, scary door. Just bombing the shit out of this door.
It just goes, and it blinks, and it's real bad. That's it.
Yeah, that was a hell of a gameplay challenge there.
Great level, great 10 out of 10.
I guess it was just there for you to like accidentally run into, and if not, then it was useless.
Oh god, the rats.
But yeah, I talked about this somewhat on the Decompression podcast, but lately I have been reading books and comics and stuff, and having some interest.
That thing you keep talking about,
yeah, outside of anime. What have you been up to lately? What stuff have you been paying the most attention to? I mean, I guess The Office.
I've been really paying the most attention to working.
Right. Well, like...
Besides that, I don't really give a shit about watching anything.
Yeah, well...
I guess the Dick Show is all I really follow.
The Dick Show is yeah.
I watched Shokugeki no Soma. That's the only anime I've watched on my own.
A lot of what conversations...
man, I've had a bunch of shit about the Pokemon anime that I could dump.
Well, first, let me just say that a lot of the conversations that we've been having around the house is just about the Dick Show.
Yes.
Like, me and Victor are both way into it. Our friends are mostly listening to it.
I love sharing the drama. It's the best.
If you're not following the Dick Show, I consider him to be the zeitgeist of whatever the hell it is I'm involved with. Like, he's not the most like pop cultural show or anything like that, but it's just that the show represents like what I think is the modern internet personality, like in a funny way where like the show comes from the biggest problem in the universe, which was Dick Masterson and Maddox, and Maddox is very old internet and Dick is very current internet, and like because their shows split up, you really see that divide where they had this podcast that was kind of right in the middle of those two things, and then Dick made a podcast that's extremely modern, and Maddox made a podcast that's extremely old school. And the fact that Dick's has been exponentially more successful really speaks to like what people want right now, Yeah. So I think,
which is to say, they just want to hear an interesting dude talk about himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's. Like, it used to be that you felt like you had to make a topic thing. Like, it has to be
But it's really just about a person's personality.
Right, it's the cult of personality is what matters now. So, and Dick is just a great fucking personality.
Yeah, he's just an interesting, fun guy.
So, yeah. Highly recommended, The Dick Show. But although I will say that if you haven't listened to The Biggest Problem in the Universe, it will be a lot harder to understand a lot of it. Probably. There's a lot of in-reference and like past drama that constantly gets brought up.
Yeah.
And I mean, Biggest Problem in the Universe is a phenomenal podcast, so if you want to listen to all 100 episodes of that first and then get into the Dick Show, it's a great sequel.
You gotta listen to 100 episodes, 100 hours of fucking Biggest Problem in the Universe, and then get real sad.
That's a lot more than 100 hours.
But also very entertained.
Because a lot of them are an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And then there's also the bonus episodes, which there's like 15 of.
Jesus.
But yeah.
A legacy.
It has the most upsetting ending of any podcast ever. And then the most upsetting follow-up of an ending of any podcast ever.
Yeah. But goddamn is it good TV.
It is amazing TV.
It is just so fun.
Anyway, what was the other thing? Pokemon. You said you had to say things about the Pokemon anime?
Alright, that's going to be a whole deal, I think.
Well, then let me go ahead and say next time on Digi Bros, you'll get to hear about the Pokemon anime.
Sure.
The Pokemon movie.
Ah, fuck.